Welcome to my world. Nice of you to join us. My name is Ebere. I'm the man you call Dr. Love. We are coming live from the city of Chicago. They call it the Windy City. And today we have 2.5 inches of snow, or 4 inches of snow, about 2.5 inches of snow. Everywhere in Chicago right now is all white. And I have a guest in the house. We're going to be having dinner together, and we're going to be talking about things that have to do with Nigeria, Africa. He stayed in America. We're going to be talking relationship and why Nigerians always want to go back home to get a wife. Does it work? What is the story in America? All that you will get to hear when Dr. Love comes back. Don't go away. Don't blink. Welcome back. Nice of you to still stay there. Don't blink so you don't miss it. I have a very handsome guest in the house. He is a computer info system expert. He studied at DeVry University here in Chicago. And he's from Enugu in Nigeria. And he's having dinner with me tonight. Let's welcome to the very pretty show, Tony Igwebuike.
Thank you. Nice having me.
Nice to have you, man. I hope you're hungry.
Oh, yes, I am.
All right. First, you do me the honor and, get us started with the wine.
No problem.
Yes. It's great to have you here, man.
Thank you.
Did you see the snow?
Oh, my God. You can never get used to it. I've been here 17 years, but you can still never get used to it.
But that's why we love Chicago. If you don't want it cold, then you move to California or you move to Texas.
Then you deal with the earthquake and all that.
Oh, well, man. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You're an expert on this.
I try.
Good. That sounds great. I want to hear a pop. Oh, nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, that looks nice. Okay, let's eat.
Thank you.
And we'll talk while we eat. I will say bon appetit to all of you back home, and for those of you who are watching us across the USA and Europe. A very special shout out to all of you in England. I hope it's not as cold as it is in Chicago, but we like it.
Cheers.
It's a beautiful future.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony, you were saying how long you've been in the U.S. How long have you been here?
I've been here pretty much 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is.
You should have contested for governor of Chicago. Governor of Illinois, I guess.
I'm not a politician.
Do you like Chicago? You've always been here since you came?
Yes, I love Chicago. I tried relocating sometime after my graduation, but I still came back to Chicago.
What was it like at DeVry University?
When I started with DeVry, it was like a technological institution.
Okay.
Before they turned into a university. And it was quite an experience.
Were there a lot of Nigerians there when you were there?
I would say I was the first set of Nigerians there. It was two of us. We were the only Nigerians there. And we ran into controversy, stereotyping.
Mm-hmm. So, what was the stereotype?
Such as, the way we dressed, they asked us if people in Nigeria dressed, did we get the dressing from Nigeria?
So you dress well?
I wouldn't take my horn.
But the truth is Nigerians actually dress well. I get the same thing at
I believe Americans, I don't think Americans dress, they don't have style to me. Because we got our dressing from Europe, and I believe Europeans dress,
But Obama dresses well.
He's black.
Excuse me. Okay, you might say so. I didn't say so. You said so. And what was it like before you came over? Did you have a degree in Nigeria before coming?
Yes, I had a degree in business management.
Which university was that? Yes, you said University
of Jos. Yes.
A lot, University of Jos has been so synonymous with show business and movies and all that. Anytime you ask anybody, any artist, like my friend Jim, I go, "Oh, University of Jos."
Mm-hmm.
But what course was it you did there?
Business management.
I was trying to say, what was it like? What's the difference with college back home and college here in America?
Here, college here, they make life easy for you. You can be a family person and still go to college here. They make it, easy. Because college back home, they make it so tedious. So you have to start from day 1 to day 30. So college here, they break it down for you week by weekly. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of the whole trimester, they combine everything instead of making it so tedious for you to read and study and do your projects and stuff like that.
Now, apart from that, there are other differences with Nigerian universities and American universities that you.
Back home, a professor can tell you that you can't graduate. Nobody can tell you can't graduate here. And back home, they don't have the financial, ways to make people, educate people. You have to pay out of pocket. But here they have, things like financial aid, to assist students and students' loan.
Then we have the Students' Loan Board in Nigeria. I'm yet to see a Nigerian that got a loan from that organization.
I'm yet to see. When you say it, let me know.
Have you seen anybody?
Let me know when you say that.
But I know we have a Students' Loan Board. They have them in Lagos. I remember when I was growing up, new in Lagos, I had a friend who worked for the Students' Loan Board. I asked him, I've never seen anybody get a loan from that place.
I didn't even know they exist.
Well, they do. They do actually. Okay, let's digress a little bit. Okay, do you belong to some Nigerian organizations here or Nigerian community things here?
I try to, but when even when I finished with DeVry, I went further for my masters to try to do my masters in networking, and I was going to school full time, working full time, so I hardly, have that kind of time. But I try whenever I have the opportunity to, involve myself. I did that.
Do you have communication with people at home?
Oh yes.
What is it like?
Oh yeah. I still have cousins there. My mother went back.
Has she ever visited?
Yeah, she was living here. She lived here for quite some time.
How old was she?
She's young. She's 50 something.
That's a young woman.
Yeah, she had me when she was 19 or 20.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you let your daughter marry at 19?
That was those days.
What is the difference between those days and today?
My grandmother got married at the age of 14.
Would you allow that?
I wouldn't allow that, but people were more reliable at those days, at that time.
Your mom and dad, were they ever divorced?
Yes, they were divorced. Actually, they were divorced before I was born.
So you have older siblings?
I have older siblings.
So did they ever come back?
You mean my parents?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out. They grew apart, and I believe maybe the age has something to do with it.
But your grandmother, was she ever divorced? She
Never. They grew all together.
So it is sometimes not because of the age. Maybe something went wrong.
Yeah. It could be. It could. Sometimes people may love each other, but they're not compatible. Okay. And that's why sometimes I try to let people know. You may be in love with somebody, may love somebody, mm-hmm. but if you're not compatible, it's not going to work.
How old were you when you left Nigeria?
I was 24 years, 24, 25.
Did you have a girlfriend?
Yes, I had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay. What was your relationship with her? like based on Igbo tradition? What was it like?
Um, I grew up in a civilized home, and I respected my parent, my mother. I grew up with my mother. I respected her well enough, and she didn't have any problem with my female friend visiting me. Then I didn't call her a girlfriend at that
Hmm.
time. I just said my female friend. So she never had problem, but she would not leave us alone.
She's always there.
She, I mean, it's not like she's over our back watching us, but she always wants us to be at her side, because kids could be dubious.
Okay, compare
So,
compare what you saw when you were growing up with dating and relationship for young people here in America. What have you observed?
um, dating here, I mean, at the age of 17, people are introducing their parents, this is my boyfriend, and they can go to Sweet 16, then when they get to 21, they can go to clubs, so it's way different from the way, before you whoop your child, you have to get, you can't whoop your child, your child knows how to dial 911 to call the police.
Were you whipped when you were young?
Oh, yeah, I was spanked by my grandmother. Sorry, mama, but yeah.
What impact did that have in your life?
It made me grow up a strong man, a strong knowledge, wisdom, and especially I got the wisdom from my grandfather.
Do you have kids of your own now?
Yes, I have two kids. I
And
have two
how
sons.
the oldest is how old?
The oldest is 7, and the youngest is 4. He will be 4 Monday,
And
actually.
are you preparing yourself? They were
Yeah,
born here.
yeah, they were born here. Yeah, they were born here, and I was like, I wanted a girl for the second one, but God gave me a boy. But hey,
Where
I
did you
thank
meet
God
your
for that.
wife?
I met my wife in Nigeria. I went back home to visit. They were giving my grandmother a chieftaincy title, so it was more like chieftaincy slash reunion. So I went back home. We were at the church, and one of my aunts walked up to me and she was like, "Do you see anything you like?" I was like, "Aunt, I didn't come home to get married. I just came home to visit for the." And that was my first time going back home, after my schooling. So I was like, I didn't come home to get married. I just came home for my grandmother's chieftaincy and the reunion. So as time went on, um, we met. She introduced me to the lady. We met, we talked, we exchanged names, you know. And she was young, so she was kind of shy. So after that, you know, my grandma, because my girlfriend, I had a girlfriend at that time, um, and my mother was not too comfortable with it because she wanted me to do the traditional thing, with us being Igbo.
Hmm.
And me trying to make everybody around me happy, I started a relationship with her, with the lady I met back home. And it was a long distance relationship, which is not really fun. Then I started went on, and that was 2002. So we had a reunion again because we have a reunion every 3 years. So I had to go back home. So I went back home and I told them, okay, I want a situation when we have a reunion again, you know, let's let it be pretty much more than reunion, so I can do my wedding at that time, my traditional wedding. So I figured, okay, I don't think I'm rushing things. Then I went back home, I think a year after or 2 years after, to get to know her better, to make sure I'm trying to do the right thing. So I went back home. She was perfect, she did everything right. I said, man, I said, thank God for giving me a good wife. So I went back home. My tradition was different from any other person. My dowry was different from any other person. It was higher than people in Nigeria. They say, okay, he's coming from America. So then I told my parents, my grandparents, my uncles and relatives. I told them, can you guys, try and see that kind of, investigate, not really investigate, and know the kind of family that we're trying to get married into. And they were like, oh no, they go to church, they're okay, they go. I said, people use that church as a camouflage.
You said church is a camouflage. Well, what do you really mean?
It's a camouflage because back home, we believe if you're going to church, you're an honest person.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe that you can be accepted. I mean, I'm not saying that Judaism or all that they're not accepted in the community, but where I'm from, my culture, they respect you more, or they accept you more, if you go to church, and especially the kind of family I came from. So that was what my grandmother was saying, but it was not saying the other aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Which is Habundioka.
Yes. So I went on preparing for the traditional marriage and the wedding, which I spent a lot of money coming from America. Most of the things used was I took them from America.
Is that why everybody want to get married to a guy who lives in America?
I mean, because I promised myself I wanted to do it once and I was not going to do it again. So I went all the way to doing it. Everything was brought from here. I bought everything from here. And my traditionally, the woman is supposed to do the traditional wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But
that never happens.
But her being younger, she didn't have a job. She was still in school at the time. That's what it told me. But that's a different conversation. She was still in school, and the parents, I wouldn't want to say they were greedy enough because I was coming from America. I happened to, sponsor the whole traditional wedding and the wedding, which I didn't have problem doing that. I prepared myself for it, so I didn't have problem doing that. But it's just the way the whole thing was appreciated. I was not appreciated at all. And but I just gave. I gave thanks to God that He made me and helped me to accomplish that. That project. So when we got married, 2005,
Mm-hmm.
30th in Nigeria. So after the wedding, December 30th, she came over here. I brought her over here around March, April, and everything changed. She changed 360.
You think it's because of the American influence or something?
It's not the American influence. I think, I'm sorry to say, but I'm married from a greedy family. And when I say greedy family, it was a family that believed, oh, he's from America, okay, my daughter, go over there and bring the dollars for us. And some people back home are so illiterate, are so naive that they believe that it's easy over here, that money fall from tree over here, that,
Say that again.
But some people that have been through it, when they go back home, they advise people back home to relax and accomplish whatever you want to do, that everything you want to do is over here in Nigeria, but they still want to come to America. And when they come to America, they want the easy way. Some people...
Is there any easy way?
There's no easy way unless you're on drugs. Even drugs is not easy. So there's no easy way, and that's the IQ they have back home.
Ebere Pretty will be right back.
Welcome back. I'm still talking to Tony Igwebuike right here on Dr. Love, and we're discussing what it is like going home to get married. Instead of getting married here in America, does it always work? Before we went on break, you were saying there is no easy way out. What do you really mean? Is there really an easy way out?
There's no easy way out. Like I said, even whatever you do, fraud, people that, are into frauds, that's not easy too. But back home, they believe, there's a tree, dollar tree that you go, pluck some money and send it back home.
If there's any, I should have discovered it back.
Oh yeah, but
yeah. And there's no money on the streets of America either.
Oh, there's not.
I said no.
There's not. So it was crazy. Before I brought my ex-wife over to America, I wanted to buy a house, and people advised me not to buy a house. That I should stay in the apartment I was in, so that to give her the knowledge that America, you have to start humbly. You have to be humble and grow with your husband. So I paid attention to that, and when she came over here, she called her parents back home, and she was like, oh wow, I thought he had money. He's living in 1-bedroom house. And when I heard that, back home,
she called her parents and said that to them?
Yeah, so her parents advised her to leave the house, and
to leave you.
Yeah, to leave me, to leave the house and call, because when she came to my house, she was talking to some man in a different state, which today they say is supposed to be a reverend father, but I was like, what kind of reverend father will advise? Will advise somebody to leave a house.
That tells me. I'm not trying to judge. I will never judge anybody. That tells me the power that the so-called pastors in Nigeria have over these people.
Oh, yeah.
Fela sang a song. It says, "Pastor life the better, citizen life the bad." I mean, yeah. It's very funny how these things happen in Nigeria. I think that's another topic for another day. How much these guys are mopping up from these people. I don't know why everybody keeps calling the politicians. Nobody ever blames the religious leaders for what goes on.
I mean, that's true. I mean, it so happened that the same priest, the bishop in Enugu at that time refused to anoint him. And he came to America and became a priest in America because they didn't do a good background check on him. So, but it happened that he assisted her to leave my house. She didn't spend up to 2-3 months in my house.
After all the big weddings,
after all the big traditional wedding, a week after a big wedding, she didn't stay up to 3 months at my house.
We'll come back to when she left your house, but let's go back a little bit. Why did you, after being in America for over 15 years, decide to go home to marry? Were there no girls here in America?
Well, they have beautiful girls here in America, but you want somebody, there are quite a percentage of women here with culture, and the kind of background I have, I want a woman with culture, a woman that when we say, okay, we're retiring, let's go back home, and the woman will go home with me. I mean, though they have, don't get me wrong, they have some foreigners, Europeans, Americans that still went back home with their husband or wife. So, but that was my intention. That was my purpose. Going back home, especially not just going back home, going to the same village that I came from to marry a woman. So that was my intention. It was not because they had gorgeous women here.
Okay. Before you decided to go home to get married, was there any other woman in your life, maybe an American or somebody?
Yes, at the time, I was dating somebody at the time, and I had to break up with her.
Was she Nigerian or American?
She was American. Okay. I had to break up with her, and I told her the situation. I mean, she knew, we already discussed it beforehand. So
that definitely, no matter what you guys are doing, you're definitely going to go home to get married.
Go home and to get married. So, and she understood that. So when the time came, I told her, and we called it quit.
Was she black or was she?
She was black. She was Black American.
How did she take it?
She took it hard, but we already discussed that beforehand.
Did you love her?
Yes, I loved her.
But that must have broken her heart.
It broke my heart too, but I had to do what I had to do. So now she accepted it. You know, so it took her some time to get over it, and we're still friends.
Very Pretty will be right back.
Before we went on break, we were just talking about your relationship with the first girl you met here. But let's change gear to something else. What was it like after you got married back home? Did she come to America immediately with you?
Yes, I made sure that immediately after the wedding that I tried as much as possible to bring her over.
How long did it take?
It took a couple of months after the wedding. Then she came over here. Because before then she told me she was in school. Apparently I found out that she was not in school.
What school did she say she was?
A school in Port Harcourt, owned by Father Ebere.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a school that she said she was.
I think is that the one they call Madonna?
Madonna, there you go, in Port Harcourt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she said she was studying medicine. She was a medical student at the time. That's what she told me.
But was she really in school?
She was not in school.
How did you find out?
I found out because when I told when she was about to come to America, I told her to I gave her money to bring her testimonial with her, so then because she told me she was a medical student, so I didn't want her to start from scratch when she comes over here, so she can carry some credit hours over. So I told her to bring her testimonial when she was coming. I gave her some money to acquire that. And she came back. When she came over, I asked her for the testimonial. She was like, "Oh, that she couldn't get it." That I said, "Did you pay for it?" I said, "Yeah, she paid for it." But they told her that they lost the file.
They lost her file.
I said, "That's not a file issue." I said, "Well, I mean, what do you think? Who do you think you're talking to?" I said, "I mean, if that's the stuff you feed to your parents, you can't feed that to me. Quite different from your parents." So she told me that the file was missing, which I know it was BS. Then I finally found out from back home, from a reliable source, that she was never in school.
But you were paying?
I was paying, yeah.
And what was it like, all those times you were paying for her school fees?
She was using it to take care of her boyfriend back home.
She had a boyfriend while she was married to you? Well, it sounds exactly like a story I know very well. I know a cousin who went through the same thing. He said to me that he was sending her money to pay for her travel expenses. She would say, "Oh, I lost my passport." He would send a couple of hundreds of dollars again. Anyway, it's not my story, it's your story.
Yeah.
But you seem to really like this girl or love her.
I was grown to love her. I mean, for God's sake, she was my wife. And what I learned from my grandfather, you love your wife, treat your wife as a queen, and that's all I did.
Okay, let me generalize this. You are not the only one. A whole lot of Nigerians, even as we talk right now, they're all preparing to go home and get married. A couple of them are going out with Americans, Hispanic people, white, black Americans. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are in love. Some of these girls are the ones that helped them even to be here, help them with their documents, love to them through all their problems, help them through school, get their students loan and financial aid. Why is it so much of a problem that Nigerians will always leave these girls and still go back home to marry? And their experience is exactly like yours.
I mean, to me, I will tell you why I did mine. I did mine for a reason to, the culture I have, from the home I came from.
Were you under pressure from your parents that you must marry somebody from your town?
Sometimes I want to say no, but I would be in denial. Yes, there was a little pressure, but my mom wouldn't put it as a big time
As a
pressure.
pressure,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
but you know,
But, you know,
I can tell she, you know, she's sneaking in here and there, and I was feeling it.
And now that this happened, how did she take it?
She took it harder than I did. She took it harder than I did because I'm her only son, and she believed that she made me do it. And I tried convincing her that I was a grown man. You know, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't want to do it. But it happened. Things happened. Maybe it was not good enough for me. Maybe something else would have happened down the line. You know, what if we were married for 15, 20 years
And it happened.
and it happened? You know, that would have been more. You know, so she took it hard. She took it hard.
Okay, before we conclude on this story, you said she was pregnant when she left your house.
Yeah,
Did
she
she
was-
have the baby?
Yeah, she had the baby. That's my son. He's 7 years old now.
You're with him?
No, actually, it's crazy that the first time I saw my son, he was I think 3 or 4, and the only reason why I saw him because she wanted me to sign a paper for him to get a passport so she can take him to Nigeria.
Is your son in Nigeria right now?
He was in Nigeria at the time, but she brought her back because she wanted child support. So she was money hungry because the court told her if the child is not here that I won't be paying child support.
So both of them are here now?
Yeah, my second son is from my
Present marriage.
present girlfriend.
Okay. Where is she now with this your son?
She's in Nebraska, a different state.
Who is she with? She's married?
I don't know. I don't ever want to know. It is none of my business.
Is she with this pastor or Reverend Father?
At the time, I heard that the pastor's mom had to kick her out of the house because she heard that the rumor back home was that the pastor was now sleeping with her. But the rumor didn't come from my family or me. You know, they started it, they ended it.
So how is your son faring now, being with his mom and not being with you?
I'm in court fighting that to get joint custody or get custody of him. I don't have quality time with my son, which is sad. But they believe they're hurting me, but they're not. They're hurting the poor little boy. You know, I can live my life. I've lived it. I enjoyed it, and I'm still living it. I have a 4-year-old son now that I love dearly. He's the one enjoying it. My first son is now enjoying it. So,
Do you think she's having a good time where she is? Is she living well? Do you think her standard of living is good? And have you started paying child support?
I've been paying child support since he was born, and that was their purpose, because she started asking about how child support worked before she even had the child. So I think they know about child support in Nigeria. You know?
Yeah, but are you trying to say that most of these girls back in Nigeria already have a knowledge of what goes on
Oh,
here
yeah.
before they come?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because she was asking a friend of hers that related information to me that that when she was pregnant, that she was asking her how does child support work here. You know, so I think maybe they believe child support back home. You know, they believe child support, or the man gives you half of his money, or you get half of
The
his
money he makes.
yeah, or you get half of his properties or whatever he has. You know, so they know they have quite a bit knowledge, but they don't really. Then they have, well, I say the idea, but they don't really have the knowledge how it really works here.
So, in other words, how dangerous it is now to leave the United States, UK, or other parts of Europe to be an African man and go back home to marry a Nigerian?
I mean, like, I wouldn't tell anybody not to do it, but there's no good woman again. To my knowledge, there's no good woman again.
But what if it's a girl you knew before you left back home?
Still, I think sometimes I blame it. I blame partially of the whole thing that happens to the economy in Nigeria. You know, unless you go to a wealthy family that really finances the girl, give the girl everything she wants, because now parents use their daughters, as a way of income, and that's why they believe, oh, you don't marry anybody in Nigeria. You wait for the American people to come back, or you wait for the British people to come back.
How many of us are in America?
Exactly, and it's sad. It's sad that the ones here, they want to go back home to do the right thing.
Even the girls are also trying to do the same thing.
But yeah, the girls are trying to do the same thing.
And they're having the same problems.
Yes.
The same problem.
I mean, it happens to both sex, both male and female. It's sad. It's sad.
Your girlfriend right now, is she a Nigerian?
She's not a Nigerian. She's an American. She makes black and white. And that's a problem. It's hard for me to trust now. That things like this will put a dent in your heart.
But she's not the same girl.
Exactly. That's what people tell
her.
The
same person.
I know. That's what.
What would you say of her?
She is the love of my life. She's awesome. She's a good mother. She was the one that comforted me when this happened, because I met her after I looked at women like disgusted, look for a year before I finally met her. I got introduced by my friend, and I finally met her, and we started talking gradually. We had our son, and she was like, "Okay, let's go to the next. Let's take a step next."
But you're taking it easy.
I was like, I can't,
All right. Before we end this, I want to ask you another question.
Okay.
What about the Nigerian women who are here, who are single? Why is it that Nigerian men and African men who live in the United States don't get to marry these girls? These girls stay here and still have to go back home to look for a husband. Why?
The reason being, they believe the Nigerian women that were born here are pretty much
not
American.
just the ones who are born here, but some of them who came here, who were married before they got here.
That's the thing. The ones that are here, they believe they are already Americanized.
Okay.
So when that's to me, it's being naive. It's just that mistake everybody is making, and the people are still making it up to today. So they believe the women here, after some time, they're Americanized. So it's better for you to go back home and get married.
Fresh from the spring.
Fresh from the spring and get married. So that's the mistake people are making, and they're still making it up to tomorrow.
The mistake people are making, hold their thought.
Very Pretty will be right back.
Before we went on break, we were talking about people leaving America and going to marry back home. And we were talking about why is it that even the Nigerian women who are here, why is it that Nigerian men here don't even marry them? What about the girls? Why is it they can't see Nigerian men here to marry? Why do they have to go back home? What's been your experience with this?
I think the whole thing is reciprocal. The men don't marry the women here because they believe they're Americanized, and the women don't marry the men here because here the men have seen the women's dirt, so they believe no, this one have been around for a minute, so they seen their dirt, so they believe I want to go home and get married, and the same thing goes to the women part of the whole thing perspective. They want to go back home to get married.
Is it because that the community, especially the Nigerian community here, kind of rove around each other or something? Why is it?
Not really though. I believe part of it though, but some kind of. I believe women are more to marry the Nigerian men here, but are the Nigerian men ready to marry them?
They prefer to still go home.
They prefer to still go home. The women. I don't think the women, they have that kind of problem. But the men are the ones that really have that problem. To go back home to get married.
You see, you were talking about a lady who also brought a man home.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a lady friend. We worked together. She was from Nigeria, and nobody proposed to her here, so she decided to go back home. And when she went back home, she reunited with a longtime ex-boyfriend back when they were in school, and she brought him over here. They went to courthouse, got married, had a set of twins, and the guy walked away.
Walked away.
Walked away.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would even say he started cheating on her at first. Then he got to the point that he was like he couldn't do it, and some people said probably because of the twins. It was he was expecting that kind of burden. He was probably expecting a child, not twins, not a setup. So
But twins, that's a blessing. I wish I could.
yeah. People don't understand that. So that was she even helped him get a job. She did a lot for him. So it goes both ways. And probably the same mentality. The guy probably had the same mentality, like I could do better by myself, than having a wife and twins, and the sky's the limit. But he's paying for it now.
Wow, Tony, I am so thrilled. I wish I could listen to your story many, many hours from now. We got a lot to learn from this, but I believe there's love wherever we are.
Oh, definitely.
I believe there's love in Africa, there's love in Nigeria, there's love in America, there's love in Lagos, there's love in Johannesburg, there's love in England. But I think we just want to find that love and find someone we can love and trust. Will always be there for us. And I don't know where Nigerians got this from. But I want to thank you so much for having dinner with me and for coming over here.
Anytime.
And it's been a pleasure. And I wish you and your new woman and your kid. And I hope you win your custody.
I hope so.
And I want to thank you. I know a lot of people have learned a lot from this. I have. I've been talking to Tony Igwebuike right here in our studios in Chicago. It's a chilling day. The fire is on. And we've had a good chat. Some nice light dinner. And I want to thank you for tuning in. If you have similar story or you have experiences like this, please write me. The address will be on the screen right now. My name is Ebere, the man, Dr. Love. I'll be with you again next week. From all of us here, the crew, Ebere Jr., Kim Onwahai, and Hilda. And we want to thank all of you for tuning in. And from Tony, just say bye-bye to those at home.
Hey, see you guys soon.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome to my world. I've done it all. I've done radio, I've done television, different shows. Way back from my days in college, on MITV Ladies Night Out, on radio Wakey Wakey. They were all shows that were all geared at making people happy and showing love. In 2004, I got back with NTA when we created the show Dr. Love, which was in my field of study. Psychology. By 2007, I was constantly thinking of how to rebrand Dr. Love, how to repackage myself. And I wanted a way that I can be able to make a meaningful contribution in the life of people, especially relationship and family. But what's important in my leaving Nigeria is not just about things that were going on in the country. Leaving the country, it helped me to rediscover myself. There's been a whole lot of agitation about me coming back on television. Well, the good news is I'm back, but not as Dr. Love, because Dr. Love as a show gave me a lot of restrictions. I had to talk strictly about relationship and marriage problems. A Very Pretty Show is a show that is created to showcase brightest sons and daughters of Africa, the best physicians, the best professors, men and women in very prominent places in the United States. Talk about leadership back home. When they come here, nobody really knows them. Even when they go out of office, some people don't even know them. A Very Pretty Show is going to be across the globe. Networks in London, networks in the USA, and of course NTA, the Nigerian Television Authority. And like every other thing I've done, it's going to come with a lot of class, perfection, style, entertainment, and information. And I'm blessed to be the one to bring it to the world, and you can expect nothing but the best. A Very Pretty Show. Welcome to my world.